I had to get my BBL surgically removed. My sit-down ear was stinking real bad. I had to carry around a bottle of air freshener or a bottle of perfume.
Some girls, their BBLs reject, okay? And so those incision holes that are around the BBL, right? It's like the stench can come from those.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. So recently, this conversation has resurfaced all over again. And if you do not know the conversation I'm talking about, it is the BBL smell. Okay. And so in this video, this woman actually talks about the fact that she had to literally remove her BBL because she could not stand the stench. So I'm going to go ahead and press play, pause, play, give you guys my thoughts, opinions on this entire situation.
So this is part 2 on why I had to get my BBL surgically removed. So in part 1, I was telling y'all how my sit-down ear was stinking real bad. And it got to the point to where I had to carry around a bottle of air freshener or a bottle of perfume because when I would use public restrooms, it would stink so bad and the smell would linger.
Now, I've had this conversation multiple times on my platform. There was a video I did a couple years ago where this woman was talking about how women are not the prize and how they nasty and their hygiene is off and all that. And I reacted to it. And I said it before, a lot of women who act like, they all that and, oh, you can't tell me nothing. I mean, as women, we go into public bathrooms and we see how disgusting it is, the smell, how nasty. Like, there's a lot of women who are out there who are so focused on the outer. But when you look at things like hygiene, it's way off, right? And so, she said that it smelled so awful that she herself could smell it. And I always wondered that because there's so many women who you go into these, stalls or whatever after, and it's like, you can't smell what I smell? Like, you don't see what's going on here? And so the fact that it was so bad to the point that she was carrying, air freshener to cancel out the smell, which we all know that don't work. It just smelled like trash and flowers or whatever the scent is. But that should say how bad it really was.
It was like an embarrassment. I didn't want to come out the bathroom with it smelling like that and someone else was waiting at the door. When I say that BBL really ruined my life, I even lost my boyfriend behind it. He was telling me the whole time, like, you're stinking real bad down there and I can't stomach it.
That is so embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. Let me tell you, I feel like the worst compliment, that this just my worst compliments I feel, I mean the worst complaints that a woman can get is that she's nasty and that she stinks. I'm sorry. I think those two, you could call somebody ugly, you could say whatever you want. I mean, there's a couple more, but I'm saying the top two is you're nasty and you stink. Like, that is terrible. That's awful. And again, a lot of these women get all this education on how y'all need to go out there, y'all need to get the bag, y'all need to get flued out. And a lot of women, mothers are not properly talking to their daughters about just the basic hygiene. Not even that. They're so, they have to go out there and a lot of times men are the ones who have to bring that awareness to these women.
I'm in denial, like, no, you're hating, you're mad, I got a BBL. It was the truth. It got to the point to where I would be washing my laundry, weekly, like I've been doing before I got the BBL. When I would get my laundry out of the dryer, it would still smell like that raw eating flesh.
This is horrible. And it's so ironic because, here she is. I'm glad that she was able to even take accountability enough to say that, he would tell her, like, girl, you stink. And she's like, oh, you a hater. You just trying to make me feel bad now because I got a BBL. It's so funny how all these men get the short end of the stick most of the time. When they try to tell you before somebody else has to tell you outside, when they try to bring awareness to you, it's like a lot of women have this shield that they're perfect, they're without fault, can't nothing be wrong with them. And, you know, even when a man tries to bring awareness to you, you want to block it out and call him a hater. Like, think about that. And like I said, these same men are the ones who bring awareness. The same men that women say that they don't need. The same men that women say don't matter. The same men that women talk about how, you know, if there's anything else that you can put your focus on, put it on that, because men are the least of your problems or your worries. The same men are the ones who actually end up having to bring awareness. So then this woman actually ended up coming forward, and I guess she used to be like a dancer, you know, what kind of dancer. And so she talked about the fact that it's absolutely true that the BBL smell is a real thing.
Y'all know that lady that's on here talking about how she got her BBL removed because it stinked? Let me tell y'all something, okay? You know, me being in the strip club, me being a dancer, you know, you're around a lot of other girls. Some who have horrible hygiene, and some, it be that BBL, okay? Now, there was this girl that I used to work with or whatever, and she was so cool, bro. She was so nice, very pretty, cool. On the, like, if we say slim thick versus thick, she was more on the thicker side of things, right? But besides the point, beautiful girl, okay? Did good, okay? Now, the first time I had ever danced with her, I had been smelling something. Like, I was looking around or whatever. Like, you know, when you smell something, you're like, I know that ain't me. Like, I had smelled it to the point that I went to the dressing room, right? And, like, when I worked at Allure, they used to have these showers all the way in the back where the dressing room used to be on behind the DJ booth, right? I, like, went back there and literally was like, I went to the house mom, like, hey, Miss Rosalind, it wasn't me, okay?
The fact that I think that this is already crazy. I'm at a loss for words. As we can see, I'm at a loss for words. And the reason why is because whenever we have these conversations on you know, these platforms, and women are like, oh, you know, you're such a pick me, you just say this stuff and you hate being a woman. But is it that, or is it that I'm just genuinely telling the truth? Because all these women who are talking about women having horrible hygiene cannot be lying. They cannot be lying. Especially working in a place like a club and you're a dancer, I would assume that dancers would have a certain level of hygiene because they, you know, kicking it all open and, you know, in people's face and stuff like that. And so to hear a dancer talk from their perspective of being in the club and stating that, yes, some women have horrible hygiene and it was so bad to the point that she would be around people and think it was herself, but women are the prize? But women deserve to have all their bills paid, but women deserve to get flued out and their rent paid and stuff like that.
So, like, I didn't realize, like, who it was until I actually started to become cool with this girl, because we had went on a trip together to dance out of town one time, and every time she would go in the bathroom, use the bathroom, she would, like, of course you're supposed to shut the door when you use the bathroom, but when she came out of the bathroom, she would shut the door too, and she would be like, don't go in there. So I'm always thinking, blowing it up, like taking a shit, right? So there was one of the days that we were there.
Taking a poop and not immediately going in the shower when you are, especially a dance. I mean, if you have access to be able to do that at any time, you know, when you do that, I would think that you would try your darndest as a lady to take care of that. Okay, jump in the shower, even if it's just, you know, from the waist down, if you got to. But to be a dancer and, you know, even do that and then go out there back to dancing without taking care of that is wild. Okay, that's just so disrespectful. That's very disrespectful.
I'm doing my makeup in the bathroom, and she came and she's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, whatever. So me, like, I don't know, maybe I'm different, but if my homegirl doing her makeup in the bathroom, I'll come in and I gotta pee and that's it. I'll just pee. Like, not that big of a deal. And I was like, girl, go ahead. She was like, no. Like, yeah. So I'm like, damn, she must got to in, y'all. So I come out, she pees, and she comes out fast. Not like it didn't take her time. It took pee time. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't long enough for her to take a was a pee type of, okay, cool. So when she came back out or whatever, she shut the door or whatever. She was like, just wait a second to go in there, whatever. I'm doing my makeup, okay? We're on a time crunch. So I'm like, girl, just spray some air freshener or something. I got, like, I go grab my perfume. I go in there, I start spraying it. But then, like, I start calculating in my head, oh, she, like, peed and it didn't smell like it smelled like ass, but not ass. Like, and I don't know how to explain it, y'all.
That's terrible. This is terrible. And a lot of these women are following all these trends and these fads. And this is such a dangerous thing to do, too. It's not even like, this is like a 1, 2, 3 procedure. Like, this is like a very serious procedure that a lot of these women are getting just to fit in and fit the mold and look like an IG baddie. And it's super dangerous, right? And so here you have these women going to these great lengths. And I would assume that if there is such a strong stench, something must be wrong. That got to be some kind of infection or whatever, because the last person, the woman who was talking about it, literally referred to the stench as rotting flesh. That's not normal. That's not normal. And are the sutures closed? Like, are the holes that they're going into closed or open? I'm trying to figure out, like, that's just crazy. That's crazy. At first, I thought that they weren't used to having, so much wagging back there. And so their hygiene was just so off that they weren't, taking care of or washing it properly. But to know that it's literally from the procedure itself is just wild.
Really don't. But I felt really bad because I don't really think that it was ever her personal hygiene. I really think it was her BBL. Some girls, their BBLs reject, okay? And so those incision holes that are around the BBL, right? It's like the stench can come from those. Even when they're shut, as it's rejecting it, it's like it's still oozing out a smell. Holes closed and everything, healed up. It was still like ooze out like a smell.
So that sounds similar to, like, dirty earring back. Like, that's the kind of smell that it sounded like. Like, even when you have, like, some people, and they don't clean their earrings or whatever, even though it's a piercing that goes through, it will still, like, omit a certain smell if it's not cleaned properly, washed properly, or cleansed properly. And so what's weird about this is that even though it's, I guess, healed effectively, it's still, the stench still comes out, which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I mean, a lot of these, I'm not gonna say a lot, but there's a portion of women who sometimes they parade around after they get their BBL, and it just doesn't look hygienic, and it just doesn't look like they smell good. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, but this just brings another layer. I'm just gonna keep it real, and I have nothing against anybody who does anything, who does, do whatever floats your boat that makes you happy. You have to live in your skin, right? And you got to be good with yourself. But unfortunately, a lot of these women who are doing these procedures are not doing the proper research of all the things that could possibly happen, and it's scary.
I ended up looking this up because when this girl gave the story on how she got her BBL removed, I was like, oh, maybe I can speak on it, whatever, because I remember being around somebody like this. But yeah, when y'all be wanting to do these surgeries and stuff, y'all need to do all y'all's research, okay? Because if your skin declines to anything, you don't know what could happen after that. But I will tell you, there are some girls, I'm not saying no names, who got a little BBL smell. Okay, and I think that I don't know how you would recover that, because all the perfume, all the Febreze, all the body oils in the world do not cover it up. And I could tell you, like, with this girl, when we was out in public, like, the more I was around her, it was a scent. It was like a part of her body odor. You know how we all have, like, our individual, like, scents and stuff. Like, it was a part of her body odor, and she would wear perfume and everything, and I could still, like, smell it, to the point where I'm not gonna hold you, I stopped being cool with the girl, because in dancer world, you are who you hang out with. And if I'm cool with her and she want to dance with me, we in a bag, not around like, which one of you? It was never me, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to be around that, so I, like, made it to where, like, I didn't want to dance next to her. She was such a cool, she really was. And, like, granted, like, when I cut her off, she never knows why I cut her off, but when I cut her off, she started talking about me anyways after the fact. But that was the reason I cut her off, because it really was a cold turkey situation, just because, like, I couldn't be surrounded. And then they ain't gonna let you tell them that they stink on some friendship. Like, hey, boo, I don't know what it is, but like, dancers, They're not gonna take it the way you think. So I didn't ever say anything. I just stopped being cool with the girl, and it would come to a point where we would be at work together, and she would walk up like, "Hey, G, da da," and I would be like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'd be like, "Oh, hold on 1 second." Like I would find any way to get from around her.
This is crazy because even obviously, you guys hear the conversations I have here on a daily basis, but obviously, even as women, like, we know that women are unable to take accountability. We know that you can't tell women nothing. We're very well aware of that. Like, there's some women who you get around them and you see that they're doing something that's either harmful to themselves or, something that's just distasteful or something that doesn't look good, and you can't tell them nothing. They'd rather cut you off, stop talking to you, than take into account the things that you're saying. It's very rare that women will be able to be held accountable. And then when you have those kind of women, it's like y'all are locked in. Like, okay, yeah, like, girl, you're going to tell me if I'm doing something right because I'm going to tell you. And again, it's a very rare occasion, a very rare occurrence. And it was so bad that she couldn't even tell her what the situation was. She just had to distance herself because she's like, nah, girl. You nice and everything, but I don't want nobody confusing that horrible stench with me. I don't want nobody getting us confused with one another. And I don't blame her. Okay, because what did I say? The top two. Again, there's way more, but the top two is nasty and you stink. I can't.
Because I didn't want her to think that she could stand around me and we work together. You know? But yeah, some girls do have BBL smells, but it's because their bodies rejected. I think it's either their incisions or the BBL procedure. Like, because you're harvesting fat, then they're putting it back in. It could be the needle that gave you an infection that they used to, put it back in. It could be anything, but that's why some girls be stinking. And if you are one of the stinky BBL girls, go to the doctor. Because perfume ain't gonna cover that up. You might have to really get a whole new BBL or something. Like, get everything removed, let them clean out the incisions and everything. They might just be able to open the incisions, go an inch or two deep and clean out whatever. But like, it's not just a like, oh, I can cover it up. No, it becomes a part of their body odor. For real. For real. I wish people spoke more on like the side effects of BBL. Yeah, it could be great or it could be hard as a rock. Yeah, it could be soft or it could reject and you have this smell for the rest of your life, right? Like, I need my BBL to come to the front. Like, I know, like, granted, even the girl that came on here and was like, oh yeah, I removed my BBL. First of all, I love her mother accent. I could listen to her talk just because her voice is so funny. But even with her being brave enough to come on here and say, hey, I had to get this removed because it really my life. I really had this smell. There's not a lot of girls who are going to do that, especially now, But I commend her on being brave enough to come up on here and tell her story. And, for me, I'm going to bring light to it because I know it. But yeah, and if the girl who, knows that this is about her sees this, it ain't no pressure, okay? I know I probably should, granted, we wasn't friends like that.
So now it seems like she's trying to make a disclaimer now to the girl because she's talking all this stuff about the friend, and obviously that friend is probably going to see the video and know it's about her. But what she was saying about the other woman, I agree. Like, I like when women come out and talk about these negative occurrences because it genuinely deters some women away from these things. Like, I saw a lot of comments on Instagram where women were like, you know what? This might be my reason to not do it because of all the other risks, which there's so many risks that are way worse, right? But a lot of these women are like, you know what? Yeah, I don't want nobody talking about I smell. I don't want to smell. I don't want nobody thinking I smell. I don't want to, even get into that kind of, situation where people think it's me. I am just going to go ahead and, X-name myself out of that situation. I'm going to have to go to the gym. And a lot of women, like I said, are doing this stuff to please other women and also to make it seem like they are better than other women, right? Like, oh yeah, she don't got no shape. She got hip dip. She got this. She got that. And they want to have, they want to be the one that is the most, curvaceous around their peers. And again, there's so many more side effects. There's so many things that could happen. There's so many things that go wrong. And it's just so interesting to me, and I have to keep saying it, that women stand in these places acting like they're so deserving of all these different things, when in actuality, there's so much knowledge that a lot of these women actually don't have. right? These women who want the leverage, who want to be looked at in a certain way, who want to be desired by certain, a certain caliber of men. But there's these conversations where, again, your hygiene is not even right. Y'all don't know how to cook, can't clean, hygiene terrible. And you're expecting men to jump through all these hoops for you, and they don't even know what they're getting out of it in return until that air hits them, and then they're like, wait, hold up. Like,
You know, like we was cool, but we wasn't friends where I was like, I could have been like, girl, hey, is something going on? Like, how I'm gonna clock your smell? I can't clock your smell. Like, no, you know. But yeah, that's why I stopped being cool with you. And then you started hanging out with me and talking about me and all this. So I guess it worked out in a favor. But I'm sure those same that you went and was talking about me about, because I don't see you around them anymore, it was probably because of the BBL smell.
you see? And this is so funny. That girl stopped being friends with her, wasn't aware of why, the two of them stopped being cool. Started hanging out with other girls who were not going to be real with her, who were not going to be honest with her, who were probably around her just to kiki with her and then talk about all that mess behind their back. This is why the sisterhood don't make no sense to me. Okay. Oh, you're not a girl's girl. What's a girl's girl? Because girls don't be having girls back. Because if you really had her back, even this woman in the video included, you would have been like, girl, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I say this with love. You might be mad at me, but so be it. We don't got to be cool. I'm just going to let it be known. You got to smell. Okay. And that's why, women who get around me, they know. I'm going to tell you. I'm sorry if it's going to hurt your feelings, if you're not going to like it, I'm not going to have you around because maybe you genuinely don't know. And if you don't know, I'm going to let you know. Girl, I smell something. I'm just going to keep it real with you. Just, you know what you got to do? Just go do your own whiff test and come back. Because I'm telling you, I ain't lying. I would never lie to you about that. I'm going to let it be known. I'm that girl. I'm the girl that's like, girl, you got something in your teeth. Okay, we talking, but you got a little something right here. You need to fix it. Girl, something on your face. Girl, you got something on your pants. Like, I'm that person. And women don't like it. But at the end of the day, we need women like that. We need women who are going to call women and bring that awareness, because a majority of people are not self-aware. And they need somebody who is going to bring that awareness just in case they are not aware of self. But I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this entire conversation. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.